Hello everybody, Michael McGrath was announced as the European Commissioner for Justice yesterday by Ursula von der Leyen. This is a huge kick in the teeth to the Irish political establishment, who for so long have been the yes men and women of the European Union neoliberal project. We saw them through the bank bailout, saddling us with most of the European banking debt that led to devastating austerity, doing their deals with the Troika, the EU, the IMF and European Central Bank. We've seen them every step of the way support the proxy war in Ukraine instead of standing up for Irish neutrality and Irish independence. And Micheál Martin, of course, said sovereignty was a backward-looking idea as we see the huge centralisation of power in the European Union. Of course, this comes on the back of a few issues that the European Union have been having with Ireland. We've seen recently the European Commission ruling on the Apple tax case, demonstrating Ireland's tax haven. That's clear to see for everybody who had their eyes half open in the last 15 to 20 years. Also in the context of security and defence with the increased militarism and the fact that Ireland haven't been as compliant as they should have been, because so many of the people in Ireland are fully opposed to any militarism, fully supportive of our rights to neutrality. But of course the European Union project is a drive towards imperialism and militarism, with the drive towards war. And you have people like von der Leyen at the helm who's driving more war against Russia. And we've seen that over the last number of years. And also we've seen the referendum defeats by the Irish political establishment that didn't curry too much favour in Europe. Not to mention, as I said, the tax haven approach and the whole approach that benefits the multinationals. But Ireland's star has fallen because a number of years ago we held the agricultural brief. Then became the trade brief, which was huge across the European single market. And also a financial markets brief recently that Mairead McGuinness held. And coincidentally, part of her remit was to work on the sanctions package that led to the devastation and the industrialisation of Europe and had a huge part in terms of the cost of living disaster that we're all facing as well. But Michael McGrath has always been a fully signed up member of the Globalist Club, attended the WEF meeting in Davos back in January, and will be a safe pair of hands for the European Union to do the dirty work of the European Union, because part of his remit will be to look after the other countries, not bowing down to the remit of the European Union diktats as we see more centralisation of power. Of course, it's going to be a discussion around the freedom of press, which is ironic. It's also about social media, which will find challenges for democracy. Isn't that interesting? Challenges for democracy when dissent and critique are vital parts of democracy. But of course, Michael McGrath's remit will be to clamp down on this and also look at the interference in judiciary. Most judicial appointments in Ireland are political appointees. So maybe he should start at home first before he tries to solve the problems in Europe. And also, it's the state control of media. Look close to home. There's loads of issues here we have in Ireland regarding the state control of media. And it's interesting that it's anti-corruption as well. And this is from Fianna Fáil, the party of the Galway 10th, famous for great tax cheaters such as Ray Burke. I mentioned Charlie Haughey. And of course we had a Minister for Finance in Taoiseach with no bank account, such as Bertie Ahern. So these people who are sidling up to the developers in the Galway 10th are now in charge of anti-corruption in the European Union. You couldn't really make this up. You just couldn't make it up. Just shows you how corrupt the whole system is to the core. And it's really like putting the old cliche would say, a fox in charge of a hen house. It's just, you couldn't make it up. It's just breathtaking, really, to think about what these people are trying to portray themselves as. But McGrath will be a safe pair of hands for the European establishment, a safe pair of hands for the globalists. And a lot of people in Ireland, in the political establishment sphere, are up in arms because they're disappointed because McGrath didn't get a top brief, such as an economic brief that they were pushing towards, because they've been the best boys in class for Europe for so long, taken every policy to its nth degree in terms of devastation. And the people in the political circles were not upset at the housing disaster we're facing, at the homelessness disaster, at immigration, at scoliosis, hospital appointments or treatment waiting for those poor children, not to mention the children awaiting special needs assessments as well. So many people who are vulnerable and struggling in our society. This didn't make them angry. McGrath not getting a plush job in the European Union is what made them angry. These are their priorities. These are who they serve. The interests of the top 1% super rich in society, not ordinary people. And it just shows you up for what they are. But Ireland's star has fallen in the European Union, and it shows you that the days of being the lapdogs should be over for ordinary people, to wake up to what's really going on with this European project, the more centralisation of power, the drive towards more militarism, drive with neoliberalism, the immigration chaos as well. So thanks for all the support with my videos. Take care and use your voice and keep speaking out. Slán, take care.